Hi, I'm Janice Dysinger with Oregonians for Fair Elections, and we're asking, are Oregon elections vulnerable to fraud? Well, a friend of mine reminded me that Oregon's elections are like a beautiful car sitting at the curb, keys in the ignition, motor running, top down, and no one around. If no one's taken it, we're fortunate. I'd like to remind everybody that it's a federal crime to lie on a voter registration form, punishable by 5 years in prison and a $125,000 fine. Immigration and Customs Enforcement checks on voting records during the immigration process, and if a non-citizen registers to vote, they'll be denied citizenship. The U.S. and Oregon Constitution require that you be a U.S. citizen to vote, yet the voter only needs to declare that they are a U.S. citizen. No proof is required. What is required is your name, resident address, date of birth, and signature, and the county clerk's going to register you to vote. Oregon's vague residency requirement says you only need to intend to return to Oregon someday to vote in Oregon. As long as you don't vote in that other state, it's legal. Well, how do you tell someone's intention? This is ripe for abuse. Any street corner, homeless shelter, open or closed, any landmark can be used as a resident, which basically nullifies our resident requirements. The voter only needs to have a valid mailing address, which can be located out of state. Federal law requires some ID through the Help America Vote Act, or HAVA. If a voter does not have any ID, they are non-HAVA compliant and can only vote in state and local elections. You can see here at the top of the voter registration card that you have to answer the question, are you a United States citizen? If you don't answer that question, your application won't be processed. You can give your resident address and a mailing address. They don't have to be the same. It asks for a lot of other information, but as you know, that's not necessary to complete the application. When a non-HAVA compliant ballot comes in, it's marked as such, and the federal offices are covered so that they don't count. This isn't news for anyone who's a HAVA non-compliant voter. Every election they get a notice from their elections director asking them for more information. We have thousands of non-HAVA compliant voters in our state. The Federal Voter Assistance Program application, which is what is used for voters applying for registration from overseas, allows a person to register to vote without any ID. And then they'll get a ballot from Oregon to any mailing address anywhere in the world. Here you can see in Section 1, it asks for your Social Security number and your state-issued ID number. Yet it says if you don't have these, you can go to line 6 and say, I don't have a state-issued ID or Social Security number, and your application will be processed. Here in Section 1, it asks for those numbers, and you can go down to Section 6 and say, I do not have a state-issued ID or Social Security number, and you'll be registered to vote in Oregon. What's the penalty for fraudulently voting from another country? Well, these people are really out of our official jurisdiction, and there's no penalty. And the worst thing that happens is that they're removed from the voter rolls. Pew Center for the States did a study and found that nationwide, 1 in 8 voter registrations is significantly inaccurate. Of Oregon's 2.5 million voters, that would mean that there are possibly 319,000 flawed voter registrations in Oregon. Election laws are passed one item and one subject at a time. The laws may seem unrelated, but the overall effect becomes a mosaic, a grand work of art and effect. Election laws are put into place by the legislature and signed by the governor, so please elect your leaders carefully. Citizens must remain engaged and vigilant as to the effect of the laws on voting. Remember that beautiful car at the curb? Do you want Oregon's elections to be vulnerable? Well, we put forward an initiative petition that requires all voters to prove citizenship. All current voters will have 2 years to show citizenship proof, and new voters will show proof at registration. Your help is needed to get initiative petition number 5 on the ballot the 2018 cycle, we need 117,578 qualified signatures by July 1st. Please go to www.orfive.com where you can download this single signer petition. You can sign it and mail it in. There you'll also find the language that will be added to the Oregon Constitution when this passes. There are many ways you can show proof of citizenship. Ask your friends and family to sign the petition and give them the website www.orfive.com. Please share it through social media, through email, and just talk to your neighbors about the petition. Together we can protect Oregon's vote from mischief and foreign influence. Please join us at Oregonians for Fair Elections. You'll find us on the web at www.orfive.com and OregoniansForFairElections.com. You can join the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/Oregonians for Fair Elections, where we have a lively debate.